Welcome back, Barracudas. This is BNN for the week of April 13th, 2020. And now it's time for this week's Bagby Bravos. Vihan from Miss Bacon's third grade class has been demonstrating being responsible behavior. He has been helping with cooking meals, setting up the table, arranging dishes, watching over his younger sister, and other household chores. Overall, he has been very respectful and helpful. Megan in Miss Cummings' class was caught by her dad being a hard worker with a great attitude. Kelly in Miss London's class was caught by her mom having a positive attitude and being responsible by working independently. Subhi from Miss Self's class was caught by her parents being responsible without any follow-ups or reminders. She has been completing assignments and her work packet, including Zern, Imagine Learning, and Typing Club, all by herself. More importantly, she's being very helpful and kind to her little sister and helping her with homework, which is one less task her parents need to take care of. Niara from Miss Sullivan's room was caught by her dad being respectful when he is working long hours from home. Niara understands how she can help her family and is now completing her work with the help of her older sister. Happy belated birthday, Niara. Julian from Miss Makinson's room was caught by his mom being responsible and kind. He made breakfast for the family, did chores without being asked, and shared his hard-earned rewards with his sister. Manasvi from Miss Self's room learned to work independently over the last couple weeks and finish her schoolwork, Google Classroom, typing class with minimal adult assistance. She is acting very maturely and is making all the right choices. Also, she helps with her 6-month-old brother at home and helps him learn to walk using a walker and babysits many times. With both of her parents working, Manasvi is truly becoming the mainstay of their work schedule and a mature individual who contributes to their household. She continues to follow her school schedule. She gets into bed at the same time and gets ready to do her work by 8:45 a.m. without complaint. Cooper from Miss Montez's room was caught by his mother being kind. He helped his brother who was feeling very angry about the end of iPad time. He offered to talk to him, since it is easier to talk to someone you aren't angry at, and after listening with kindness, he helped his brother find a new activity that would help him let go of his anger by working together on a new activity page. Miss Buckner would like to recognize F.A. for being responsible by completing all assignments and turning them in each week so that Miss Buckner can see all the work he's done and the progress he's made. Owen from Miss Self's room was caught by his parents being responsible and kind. He has worked really hard at staying on task, following his schedule, and helping out around the house. He has done a great job with this new normal. Atticus from Miss Stevenson's room was caught by his parents being responsible, and he continues to work on his sentence writing and doesn't give up. Happy belated birthday, Atticus. Alexa from Miss Sullivan's class was caught by her dad being responsible by counting to 20 while washing her hands. Trevor from Miss Bacon's room was caught being responsible by ensuring that he is always 6 feet away from anyone walking when he is out on his daily bike ride. He has also been very helpful by reading books to his younger brother so that his mom can work at home. Maya from Miss Ma's room earned a Bagby Bravo for being very responsible this week in doing her schoolwork in an organized and independent way, practicing yoga, and her piano lessons. Anya from Miss Stevenson's class also earned a Bagby Bravo for being very responsible in completing all of her school assignments, doing her yoga, and her piano lessons. She also just had her 6th birthday, so happy belated birthday, Anya. Violet from Miss London's room was caught by her family being responsible and kind. Over the past week, she has made lasagna and pancakes for her family and made her mom an afternoon coffee and cake, all with little to no help. Jack from Miss Jensen's room was caught by his mom being kind. Jack's little sister fell down and he immediately asked if she was okay and got her a Chili Willy to help her feel better. Lexi from Miss Bacon's third grade class was caught by her parents being responsible and kind. Lexi asked if she could clean up her room. She took a small vacuum, cleaned under her bed, and took everything off the top of her bed. There were like 30 stuffed animals and blankets, and then made it all nice and neat and organized, as well as her nightstand. She did this all without prompting, complaining, or needing much help. It looks great. Jake from Miss Stevenson's class was seen being responsible when he wiped down all of the kitchen cabinets and countertops without being asked. He has been very helpful since his family has been at home, often taking it upon himself to clean up around the house. Mia from Miss Makinson's class has also been very kind. Last week her brother wasn't feeling well and she immediately jumped into action and made him a Google slide presentation that included pictures of all of his favorite things to cheer him up. Spoiler alert, it worked. Bruce from Miss Sullivan's class was caught by his parents being kind and responsible when he helped his little brother dig for worms in the area he helped prepare for planting the family fruit trees in the yard. Kylie of Miss Buckner's class was caught being responsible and creative by doing all of her schoolwork quietly while Mommy navigated conference calls. She also expressed her creativity with extensive Lego and STEAM designs. Christopher from Miss Maz was caught being safe and kind by his mom. Christopher was playing catch with his sister Kate, and he was working with her to practice pitching and also showing her how to catch a baseball safely with her mitt. We are so proud to see Christopher being such a great brother to his sister Kate and such a great teacher. He is a really good baseball player and loves the game. Special shout out to Cambrian Park Little League and the West Valley Slammers. Chloe from Miss Montez's room has been very responsible while learning remotely and is always ready for her live classroom sessions from 8 o'clock to 8:30 every morning with her classmates. She continues the day by completing her homework packets. Jacob from Miss Jensen's room was very helpful as his family was unloading their vegetables and herbs. He had the perfect idea. He used his tractor to help unload. Thanks, Jacob. We can't wait for our crops of herbs and vegetables to start producing. Ziad from Miss Jensen's room was caught being responsible by his mom when he organized and cleaned up his magnetiles. Lucia from Miss Jensen's room was caught being responsible by offering to do extra chores like cleaning the bathroom counters, and Mark from Miss Montez's room was caught taking care of all the ingredients after a baking project without being asked. Caleb from Miss Ma's room was caught being responsible. He created a science project all on his own and shared it with his classmates. Kai from Miss Rodriguez's room was caught being kind when he offered to teach the little shredders in his neighborhood how to do an ollie once the shelter in place is over. Miss Makinson would like to recognize Danitza for more than tripling her Imagine Learning usage last week and more than meeting her goal. She has begun using Google Classroom, and Miss Makinson can't wait to celebrate her can-do attitude. Miss Sullivan would like to recognize Faya for her hard work on the class's art and writing contest last week. Avi from Miss Sullivan's room was caught by his mom and dad being responsible. Avi completed his work after breakfast every day without needing lots of reminders. Keep it up, Avi. Families, if you have caught your child making good choices and would like them recognized on next week's BNN, please email me at kretschm@cambriansd.com by Friday, April 17th. Thanks so much.
Don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing's gonna be alright.
What's up, Barracudas? I'm joined by
Batman, Black Panther.
for this week's weather forecast. On Monday, it's going to be
Partly cloudy.
with a high of 73 and a low of 48. On Tuesday, the sun returns. It's going to be
Sunny.
with a high of 75 and a low of 49. On Wednesday, the sun remains. It's going to be
Sunny.
with a high of 80 and a low of 51. And then the clouds return on Thursday. It's going to be
Partly cloudy.
with a high of 67 and a low of 51. And then finally on Friday, it's going to remain
Partly cloudy.
with a high of 67 and a low of 49. Enjoy your week. For this week's book, we're going to be revisiting Miss Greer's second grade class and meeting up with some of the friends of Miss Ada Twist Scientist. Today I'm going to introduce you to Miss Rosie Revere, Engineer. This is the story of Rosie Revere, who dreamed of becoming a great engineer. In Lilla Greer's classroom at Blue River Creek, young Rosie sat shyly, not daring to speak. She's right there, right next to Ada Twist. But when no one saw her, she peeked in the trash for treasures to add to her engineer's stash. And late at night, Rosie rolled up her sleeves and built in her hideaway under the eaves. Alone in her attic, the moon high above, dear Rosie made gadgets and gizmos she loved. And when she grew sleepy, she hid her machines far under the bed where they'd never be seen. When Rosie was young, she had not been so shy. She worked with her hair swooping over one eye and made fine inventions for uncles and aunts, a hot dog dispenser, and helium pants. Would you like a pair of helium pants? The uncle she loved most was Zookeeper Fred. She made him a hat to keep snakes off his head, from parts of a fan and some cheddar cheese spray, which everyone knows keeps the pythons away. And when it was finished, young Rosie was proud, but Fred slapped his knee and chuckled out loud. He laughed till he wheezed, and his eyes filled with tears, all to the horror of Rosie Revere, who stood there embarrassed, perplexed, and dismayed. She looked at the cheese hat and then looked away. "I love it," Fred hooted. "Oh, truly I do." But Rosie Revere knew that could not be true. She stuck the cheese hat on the back of her shelf, and after that day, kept her dreams to herself. It's kind of sad. And that's how it went until one autumn day, her oldest relation showed up for a stay. Her great-great-aunt Rose was a true dynamo who worked building airplanes a long time ago. She told Rosie tales of the things she had done and goals she had checked off her list one by one. She gave a sad smile as she looked to the sky. The only thrill left on my list is to fly. But time never lingers as long as it seems. I'll chalk that one up to an old lady's dreams. Wonder what Rosie might build her. That night, as Rosie laid wide-eyed in bed, a daring idea crept into her head. Could she build a gizmo to help her aunt fly? She looked at the cheese hat and said, "No, not I." But questions are tricky, and some hold on tight, and this one kept Rosie awake throughout the night. So when dawn approached and red streaks lit the sky, young Rosie knew just how to make her aunt fly. What do you guys think it's going to be? Maybe a rocket? Helicopter? Airplane? Let's find out. She worked and she worked till the day was half gone, then hauled her cheese chop copter out onto the lawn to give her invention a test just to see the ridiculous flop it might turn out to be. Strapped into the cockpit, she flipped on the switch. The helo cheese copter sputtered and twitched. It floated a moment and whirled round and round, then froze for a heartbeat and crashed to the ground. Then Rosie heard laughter and turned round to see the old woman laughing and slapping her knee. She laughed till she wheezed and her eyes filled with tears, all to the horror of Rosie Revere, who thought, "Oh no, never, not ever again will I try to build something to sputter or spin, or build with a lever, a switch or a gear, and never will I be a great engineer." I think she's feeling kind of sad. She turned round to leave, but then Great-Great-Aunt Rose grabbed hold of young Rosie and pulled her in close, and hugged her and kissed her and started to cry. "You did it! Hooray! It's the perfect first try! This great flop is over. It's time for the next." Young Rosie was baffled, embarrassed, perplexed. "I failed," said dear Rosie. "It's just made of trash. Didn't you see? The cheese copter crashed." "Yes," said her great aunt. "It crashed, that is true. But first it did just what it needed to do. Before it crashed, Rosie, before that, it flew." "Your brilliant first flop was a raging success. Come on, let's get busy and on to the next." She handed a notebook to Rosie Revere, who smiled at her aunt as it all became clear. Life might have its failures, but this was not it. The only true failure can come if you quit. They worked till the sun sneaked away to its bed. Aunt Rose tied her headscarf around Rosie's head and sent her to sleep with a smile ear to ear to dream the bold dreams of a great engineer. At Blue River Creek, all the kids in grade 2 build gizmos and gadgets and doohickeys too. With each perfect failure, they all stand and cheer, but none quite as proudly as Rosie Revere. Hope you enjoyed. I think a lot of you have had similar experiences in Makers Club this year when you've tried your best to make something. It has failed and flopped, but the best part of Makers projects and engineering projects in general is that you learn from your mistakes and you can keep trying and hopefully improve upon everything that you've done. And that's just what Rosie Revere Engineer did. Hope you enjoyed. We'll see you next week. What's up, Barracudas? It's Mr. Crutch here with this week's joke. I have Black Panther and Bumblebee to help me tell it. Bumblebee, what is it?
What's a witch's favorite subject in school?
A belly.
Hope you enjoyed this episode of BNN. Have a great week. We'll see you all next Monday. Choose kind, Barracudas.